Hello everybody, I'm here in El Salvador, Bitcoin country. And I spent the weekend with Isaac and other friends and also Alejandro exploring Bitcoin Beach and the experiment that is underway. And these two friends of mine are the best people to ask about the reality of Bitcoin on the ground here in El Salvador. Guys, give me a sense, okay? We walked through Bitcoin Beach, we saw the stores that accept Bitcoin, and then I went around the country a little bit and I saw that it wasn't exactly, everywhere. Where is Bitcoin at the moment?
So I think it's a complicated question to answer. I mean, on the one hand, there's a very clear legal framework here, which is fantastic, and a lot of companies are making the most of it. But at the same time, in terms of adoption on the ground, it's been slower, let's say. So while there's quite a lot of big companies, most of the big retail companies are now accepting Bitcoin, because it's law. Not many customers may necessarily be choosing it as their primary form of payment. Where I've seen it most is actually in terms of remittances. So you're still getting about $40 or $50 million worth of Bitcoin coming into the country and being withdrawn at ATMs here. And so that is coming into the real economy for sure. And that also feeds through to transactions at supermarkets, at fast food restaurants, where you will see some transactionability of Bitcoin happening in the day-to-day. But it hasn't been this massive adoption that you would have expected. Where I find it more interesting is a lot of companies that are now looking at El Salvador who might not have noticed El Salvador before, or locals like Isaac, for example, who are exploring business models that are unique and that can exist here because of the legal framework that we have. I think that's been the true success of the Bitcoin law, is in this kind of huge PR push that has been for the country abroad.
Right. At Bitcoin Beach, we had beer and the girl who runs it was talking about Strike. And Strike actually came in before the law came in, right? So you have a whole range of crypto investors who are sort of interested in the country.
Yes. Now, to add to Alejandro's point as well, the daily, the transaction volume in general in El Salvador for Bitcoin is less than 2% of all transactions in the country, right? In matters of adoption as a means of payment, as you said, Bitcoin has not gained that much traction, but it certainly allowed the country to move forward in a direction where you have, as Alejandro also said, a lot of companies now looking at El Salvador as a place to set up a laboratory and experiment things that can scale up later.
It's become a bit of a sandbox, I think, for a lot of people, which is cool.
The crypto people's sandbox, right? And then they have money. So now, Alejandro, you are launching a digital bank, right? What's it called? Nico, right? Yeah. I'll be talking to Alejandro separately on the bank. Why doesn't Bitcoin feature in your business model?
It does. I mean, so it may not be the core of my business model. We are utilizing, let's say, more traditional financial infrastructure for the core of our business, but we do definitely have Bitcoin incorporated into our roadmap. So we will be having on and off ramps for Bitcoin, and we will be trying to make the most of our physical network of, we already have about 1,000 shops and commerces that are affiliated to us and who are already accepting payments using our systems, and we'd like for them to also be a way for people to purchase Bitcoin, and so that's kind of one of the ways that we look at it. It's also, obviously, we will have integrated into we'll have a wallet for all our users, and the idea is that it'll not only be a fiat wallet linked to their bank account, but also to a crypto wallet, and that's something that we're working with. I think you chatted with my friend Francisco Montenegro earlier from Credo. That's something, a proof of concept that we're working with together with them, actually.
That's right. There are vendors who are building custodian infrastructure for banks to be able to hold Bitcoin as a deposit, as a liability, as an asset. We will be discussing that later. Isaac, what are you working on?
So I'm working with an investment bank. My firm has partnered with a local investment bank, and we're looking at different avenues of financing that we can find through blockchain, and it's a new world in a sense of the mechanisms through which you can raise capital these days in the space of crypto, but it's not necessarily cryptocurrency exclusive, right? And you also have a strong movement as well of traditional markets now embracing blockchain technology to tokenize as well traditional securities, and we're looking also at that to some extent. And one of the reasons why that is key, or why it's strategic to keep an eye on that, is because if you're going to tokenize an asset, it easily opens up barriers of entry that you used to have for capital in different countries. Now anyone who has a wallet around the world and is also in theory or actually in practice a qualified investor in some way or another can come to El Salvador, doesn't need to come to El Salvador to set up a legal entity that can hold their security. They will now be able to hold their security through in the tokenized form in a blockchain. Exactly, in a blockchain, and a custodian wallet of their choosing.
Yeah. Now, is this something that was made even more possible because Bitcoin is currency now? Or
this was made possible, or it's not necessarily it was made possible because of Bitcoin, but
I think it's definitely been able to. And for Isaac, in Isaac's case, I mean, there's many more people who now would consider investing in a vehicle that's located in El Salvador potentially. Correct. And so that I think has been, and it's what I said before. I think that's been the big success of this law. Beyond the day-to-day adoption, it is very much the visibility that it's given to El Salvador, to the tech scene here, to people who are working in finance like Isaac here. And so that's really where I think the government did a great job. I mean, it's been a fantastic. They could have spent $2 billion and they would have got the same PR as this law.
Right. Now let me ask you this question: can this law fail? What are you concerned about that might make this Bitcoin law the world's first country to accept Bitcoin as currency to fail?
The law itself is not a matter of whether it can fail or it can succeed. It already succeeded in bringing, the benefits we just mentioned.
Can the law be revoked? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think a couple of things that we have to have is a continuance in policy, whether it's a continuation of the same government, or that the next government recognizes the benefits that this law has brought. And then the other thing is
the commitments you have to.
There are certain commitments, right? So like there's a macroeconomic environment that El Salvador cannot ignore, despite this very special and unique opportunity that it has. We have a bond coming due Q1 of next year, $800 million, I think, and which El Salvador doesn't have the money to pay back. And so there are very few avenues for it to pay that back. And one of them is the IMF. And the IMF has made it very clear that they are not very keen on the posture that the current government has with regards to Bitcoin. And so that's another risk that I see to the law. I think that I like to believe that it's here to stay, and so I think that's a good. I think they passed a law. They passed a law just this week where now anyone can open a bank. I mean, it's unrelated to crypto, but still they're very much trying to push the envelope with regards to access to finance for everyone. And so they've just passed a law whereby anyone can open a bank account from their mobile phone, which wasn't possible before, also without having to make a minimum contribution. It used to cost $25 to open a checking account, and that's no longer required. And so they are really making a lot of moves, and so I'd like to think that it's not just a Bitcoin exclusive thing. It's more like that they are really pushing towards financial inclusion. Yeah. Bitcoin and its adoption is one way to get there, but financial technology companies like ours, that's another way, and so I think that's the ultimate goal, right?
Yeah.
Guys, you've given me a very grounded perspective, and the fact that both of you are traditionalist and still being positive with a positive outlook on how Bitcoin will evolve gives me a sense that this thing is going to grow, except that it's got milestones to pass. I've put in extra videos of the visit to Bitcoin Beach you must not miss that. With Isaac and partying with these guys, which will not be on the video, but gives you a sense of what we've seen, and also interviews with the bartender that we met. What kind of customers she's seeing, what's the acceptance, the convenience of the experience, and all of that. So please look at the other videos that I put together from this trip. And guys, thank you so much for giving me your perspective, because I respect your views.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the chance to.
Guys, let's ask Dana and Angel, how Bitcoin's been for business in this resort. You have a lot of people coming here to pay you in Bitcoin. We're going to pay you in Bitcoin today.
Bueno. Which wallet do you have?
Oh, okay. The wallet I have is it's a Lightning wallet.
Okay.
It's Moon.
Moon.
Right. So I have some money in my Moon wallet, and I'm going to use that to pay you.
Cool.
But tell me, how's Bitcoin been for you?
It's more each month, I'd say.
It's increasing.
Yeah, I'd say so. And when there's more conferences and things going on in the country surrounding Bitcoin, even about 3 weeks ago, there was a conference in Miami.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Were you there?
I was there permissionless.
And I think there's a lot of direct flights, from Miami, and I think a lot of people were speaking about El Zonte and El Salvador and Bitcoin, and then people check the flight schedule for coming here, and I noticed it was a Monday. I think the conference was
On a Tuesday.
maybe Friday or
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday was.
So then I noticed an influx of people. Oh, we're at this conference in Miami, and we decided to take a quick flight and check out this place. Yeah, we get a mix, and there's some people that they have hedge funds, and they're creating apps to connect their hedge funds to convert into Bitcoin in real time. And we've tried to troubleshoot, and we've been here for 20 minutes. Connect to my Wi-Fi if that's going to help the situation. And there's interesting people that are doing different things within the Bitcoin world. And then I have Bitcoin because I have the business and I accept Bitcoin, but I'm curious how other people have Bitcoin.
What do you think will make Bitcoin more important than cash, you think?
Here or in the world?
Here, like for you.
I always ask anyone that I meet in El Salvador, do you have a wallet? Nope. Even business owners, people that have money, influential people in the government. I have a lot of friends and I network a lot. I'm go to the city. I'm here. I'm everywhere. Colocha, and people don't even have a wallet because you can't pay for everything with Bitcoin here yet. Even though technically, legally, they should be able to. Even in El Tunco, the town right over from here, and they're not accepting. So I find it interesting from a personal level.
That's the amount that I have. Okay, so hang on. Quit and then start again. Okay, send. So I'm going to send Dana this money. Okay, here we go, and done.
Woohoo! Fast.
Oh, this is fast.
That was really fast.
That's why it's called Lightning. This is my first payment ever in my life, okay? And I did it with Dana here in El Salvador.
You have to do two here.
Yeah.
It's always
this
one
and then two.
this.
Okay,
There you
excellent.
go. Now you're Salvador.
Okay,
Hello.
historic moment. I'm standing in front of a Shibo Bitcoin ATM. And there are Shibo ATMs all over San Salvador. These are set up by the government and to encourage people to be able to exchange normal US dollars for Bitcoin or the other way around. So I'm going to go in and have a look at it. And so you have to be El Salvadorian to use the Shivo wallet, and so therefore everything is in. You can buy bitcoins, you can withdraw bitcoins, and you can redeem bitcoins. And they have all these languages that you can use: English, French, Spanish, Chinese, traditional Chinese, and old Chinese, and Korean. And I'm sure that's very interesting, also, isn't it? But you really need to be a resident here. And as all of you know, Francisco has been helping me, meet with many interesting people here. And Francisco himself is from Credo, right?
Credo, yeah.
Which is working with the banks to create a trusted custodian layer in the blockchain, in the Bitcoin ecosystem, because Bitcoins are now legal tender in El Salvador, and so the banks have to create a new technology-based platform for holding bitcoins on behalf of
We provide institutional grade custody for the self-management of crypto assets and settlement of themselves.
right? And right now,
In a nutshell.
in a nutshell, yeah.